Hello everyone, TLOU Strategist here with a new and completely different video from my usual fare. So some of you may know that I pretty much never do trailer reactions or most videos that typical YouTubers do, but I had enough people ask me what I thought about the most recent TLOU Part II trailer that I decided that I should go ahead and make this video and offer my insight and what I think was going on. At the very end, I'm going to offer some ideas of what maybe the more esoteric symbolism and hidden meanings were found in this trailer. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I notice here are these trees. These are very distinct trees. I believe they may be Pseudotsuga benzezii, which are Douglas fir trees, most notably found in the Pacific Northwest. We have two cloaked figures. One is carrying a torch held upright. I'll explain more of that later. We have an unidentified woman being dragged. In the background, more trees, ferns, and moss, indicating a moist and wet environment. The torch is tossed away. We see the face of a woman. Kind of looks like Ellie, but is not Ellie. She looks up to see people who have been both hung and eviscerated through disembowelment. This is a very dark, very grim trailer, I must say. The darkness is contrasted with the burning car, indicating both illumination and darkness. In the background you can see some trellises and some ivy on what looks to be a bridge structure.
They are nested with sin.
Nested with sin.
Free them, that they may know my...
Free them so that they know my and the interrupted. Possibly indicating that she's pregnant, but maybe just infected. Or some other dishonor. Notice the two henchmen dress very similarly and both have shaved heads. To me, this indicates that it's probably a cult.
Where is the other apostate?
She asks where the other apostate is.
Clip her wings.
Apostate is one who is a non-believer or a betrayer. This is so brutal. Oh, so brutal. The guy's left-handed. That was interesting. Pulls out a revolver. 3 shots. 4 shots. All she had was 4 bolts in there. It's very intense. The hammer was used to kill the antagonist. For trailers, this is very intense. We're now introduced another character who seems to be wearing almost medieval-like clothing. Also a shaved head, looks very similar to the 2 henchmen, which tells me this may be the apostate, one of the other betrayers.
She's one of them. Lev.
She grabs the hammer, indicative of the Outbreak Day poster, along with the roped burned wrists. Lev has 4 more arrows. Only had 6 total.
Watch your backs.
And now we see clickers, not runners, clickers running towards them. Last of Us Part 2, not Last of Us 2, Last of Us Part 2, and the Naughty Dog symbol. All right, so first I want to talk about some of the symbols that were in this trailer that I think are incredibly important. The first is the torch. When a torch is lit and held upright, it indicates illumination, enlightenment, and life. But as you can see, the torch is quickly tossed aside, indicating both ignorance, destruction, and death. The second symbol is disembowelment or evisceration. Disembowelment has been used as a form of torture and execution for millennia. Ritualized suicide of samurai, known as seppuku, allowed for one to free themselves from their dishonor of their crimes by slicing the lower part of their abdomen open. What we see here may be a forced form of spiritual cleansing. The last symbol I want to talk about, and the most important, is the hammer. The hammer is the main object of focus in the trailer. It is essentially a masculine force, representing both strength and might. The most ubiquitous example is from Norse mythology, Thor's hammer, known as Mjolnir. Traditionally, the masculine hammer can be paired with the feminine anvil to represent the androgyny, the combination of both masculine and feminine forces. I believe this is what maybe Naughty Dog might be going for in terms of this character, an androgynous protagonist. For these people, if they were to have any hopes of building a more enlightened future, they would need the combination of both the masculine and feminine forces. So this leads me to my next question. When did this take place? Here's the reasons why I think this may have happened before TLOU Part I. For one, we see no new types of infected. The infected we see at the very end appear to be typical clickers. The second reason is the female. If she truly is pregnant, as may be assumed in one way, it could possibly be Anna Williams, Ellie's mother. And if that were the case, then this would most certainly have to happen before TLOU Part I. The third and final thing is I get a general feeling when I watch this of when Tommy was talking to Joel at the dam, and his quote that he has nothing but nightmares from this time, as it seems during this trailer that at this time there is nothing but nightmares for these people. So here's the reasons why I think this took place after TLOU Part I. First of all, I think it takes place in the Pacific Northwest. Everything from the Doug fir trees to the vegetation, all of it tells me that this is in the Pacific Northwest. There's also been other information revealed that indicates that from the previous posters and previous trailer that yes, this area is probably near Seattle or in the general Pacific Northwest area. And along with that, if this woman were to be Anna Williams, I find it incredibly difficult that she'd be able to go cross-country while pregnant all the way over to Boston in order to give birth to Ellie in that part of the country. Not saying it's impossible, but extremely unlikely. 2. The weapons that are used in the trailer are very simple. With the exception of the one revolver with the 4 bullets, all we ever see is a hammer, a few knives, and a bow with 6 arrows. There's no assault rifles, no shotguns, no crazy burst rifles. All very simple weapons, indicating this may be far later in the game than we suspect. The third and final point that I'd like to point out is I believe that this group with the shaved heads is most likely a cult. And I think it indicates that the group's lengthy detachment from the previous civilization shows that this is also very late in the game. Lastly, there is one other alternative. It is this. What occurred in this trailer, this time period, occurred simultaneously with what was going on with The Last of Us Part I. And this would indicate why they chose to name it The Last of Us Part II and not just The Last of Us 2 as a direct sequel. So lots of questions, a few answers, but hopefully I helped provide a little bit of insight of what may have been going on with this trailer. I'm very excited to see what else is unveiled in the future, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. I'd be happy to answer them. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you soon.